5th, 2020. Come at you with a really quick updated video. I just want to touch on this, and I'll come back later on tonight with another video. But just had some stuff kind of going on today that I just want to bring to you real quick. Obviously, we'll talk about Kim Jong-Un here in just a second. But yeah, we're just going to dive into this real quick. But I'm going to give you an update here on the Schumann. Now, remember at the end of my video, I was pointing out you started having another spike around 10 again. All right, that spike was short-lived. But as you can see, guys, this is something else I want to point out, that it's as if that it was still a spike, because if you look, it was a little bit more duration, just wasn't as intense as that big white that we always see. If you look here, you can see how it was still an uptick right there in that time frame. This one here on the end of it, this one looks like, I'm not sure if the tool was messing up or not, but you can see we don't usually see that backwards taper like that. We get the spike up here like that, and then it tapers off like that was just kind of strange. Usually what we see again, guys, is something that does one of these and then kind of, most of us have seen these spikes like this before. And usually they're all solid white in here when they're really intense. But there was still something going on right here is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to go as far as to say, hey, that was, a spike like we were seeing at 10 o'clock, okay? But we did have an intense little burst at 10, and then it took an hour or so break, and then it did it again. And I think more so what's going on here is, like, from here over would be more of the same kind of a spike, okay? This here may be separate this time. So it may not be a 10 o'clock spike like I was showing you guys before, but it could be still. I'm not really sure. We'll just have to wait, and we'll keep watching this thing, obviously. Here in the next 5 or 6 hours, we'll come across, 10 o'clock again. So we'll just watch it. Does it really matter that's happening at 10? Well, the only thing that really matters is the fact that if it is doing it at the same exact time every time it spikes, it's kind of hard to call that a natural event. We would have to call that something that was done intelligently. So that's really why I'm even talking about this. Okay, it would be something couldn't be a natural thing, is what I'm trying to say. Somebody is doing it. Something is doing it at the exact same time. Whenever we get these spikes. So that's why I talk about it. I've had a couple questions why I said that. Now, before I show you this, guys, I just want to give you kind of a graphic warning, I guess I should put out here. It's a dead body, but it's not gory, okay? I wouldn't show something like that here on my channel. But I just want to show you what the reports and stuff we've been getting for a couple days, actually. And I just haven't really spoke about it because obviously there was no way for us to really 100% confirm what was going on until now. Unfortunately, when people pass away, that are in high places, that's usually what we have to do. Because we don't want to be irresponsible, come out and say somebody has passed away, especially somebody like Kim Jong-Un, that was a very dangerous person. And, what could that mean for us? But I'll show you what I got. It's not that bad, but I did want to say that before I show you guys this picture. Okay, guys, there it is. Scott sent this to me last night. Does it really matter if he passed away this afternoon, this evening, yesterday? Not really, okay? But, this is the stuff that we were getting. And we don't just jump right out there and start saying stuff like this until it would be completely irresponsible for somebody to say that, and then, what if it wasn't true? But now, just about an hour or so ago, all the news agencies, dude, they just started blasting this everywhere. I don't know that I've actually seen it on a newscast over here yet. They could be waiting for what reason. They could have already done it too. I don't know. I haven't really been on the news stations today. I don't usually watch mainstream media, just letting you know. But I did scan through there, and I didn't see anything that they were showing currently, as I'm making this video anyway. But Hong Kong, some of those agencies, they were showing it on television. China said they sent a team of doctors. And so what's this all mean for us? Well, short term, next day or so, probably nothing. But in the long term, you just never know when when dictatorships like this, when they change hands, they can do some really bad stuff. The people that are running that country over there are probably freaking out right now because, if the new person coming in, like if it's his sister, if she just doesn't like you, you're gone. And I don't mean just like exiled or no longer part of the government. You're dead. They don't mess around with that stuff. And if there's like an internal coup, something like that, you never know. Most of the time when these things happen, that usually is part of what happens. Unfortunately. But unfortunately or fortunately, you never know. And that's what I'm saying. We're not going to know what's the best thing here. We can just speculate. At some level, it might have been better for this guy to hang around a little bit longer. You just don't know. But, we do know that he was crazy, doing all of that crazy stuff, man. 37 years old. I don't think anybody really expected this. Now, also, the other question is going to come up. Was this something that had happened to him? Somebody did this to him. That's always a question. And again, that's one of those other things that we're just not going to know the answer to. We can listen to all the alternative reports here, there, mainstream, here, there. Unless you're right there in that inner circle, you're not going to know. And at the end of the day, does it really matter? And the guy did pass away. So that is what it is. He's a brutal guy. I mean, he fed his own uncle to some dogs, guys. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, I ain't trying to laugh or nothing about that. That's just, that's more of a nervous chuckle there. It's like, whoa, that right there takes an extra level of brutality. And maybe that has something to do with his age because he was young. Who knows? But anyway, guys, I'm going to show you something else here too. Give you a little update on the CME. All right, guys, I got you over at SDO. I'm going to show you a little bit of a CME that happened. And then I'm going to take you over to seeds and let you see it there. Okay. So, also, guys, on that Kim Jong-Un stuff, okay, we were seeing those reports coming in a few days ago. I think that picture was from, I'm not sure exactly when Scott received that one. But that goes to show you that we're not out there, or at least I know Scott doesn't do this. I don't really use a report on news. I'm usually space weather and stuff like that. But we vet it out as best as we can before we even bring it to anybody. Okay? It's always best to be right than it is to go out there and try to be the first one to get the click. Because that's all that they want. They just want that click if that's all they're trying to do. Because those people that do that, about 50 to less % of the time, they end up being correct. It's redundant. It doesn't make any sense to do that. And I know that Scott doesn't do that because you didn't see him out here saying that until this is happening. It's been confirmed. We kind of knew this was confirmed, especially by last night. But we still waited. And you have to in situations like this because it's pretty big news, guys. Okay? It could affect us in great ways, it could. This guy was brutal, like I said, and feeding his uncle to dogs. I mean, come on. Anyway, you guys can see that blowing off right there, right? Here we go. It's going to, starting to get active right there. A little bit of a flash. And then it's little small ejections, and then there it went again. So it's multiple ones here. So let me show you over on seeds here in a second. But this over here is that area of the sun that was acting up yesterday. Actually, it's kind of rotated. It was more here. Now we're starting to see stuff up here. Watch how it kind of rotates up that direction. Everything kind of migrates north a little bit. So just kind of keep that in mind, that we still got stuff going on over there. Got an active area going on here. We got to pay attention to that because it could turn into a sunspot. Right now, there's no sunspots underneath those things. It's just active. They might consider that a very small coronal prominence is what they call them, which by definition is just an active area on the sun. A lot of times you'll see the solar vortices in those. They look like little tornadoes. But They're not actually wind, guys. They're particles traveling along the lines of magnetism, the connections there. And when the particles travel along these lines of magnetism, they spiral. Okay? They spiral around the central part of it. In different materials of different masses, they spiral at different speeds and at different distances away from the center of the line of magnetism. That's why we see these vortices looking in different shapes, okay, as far as size. It does look very much like wind or a tornado we would see here on Earth, but that is not what's going on, okay? It's not wind. It's not low pressure moving into high pressure, and spinning and twirling and all that kind of stuff, okay? This isn't the dynamic of this at all, okay? Even charged particles that make it all the way here to Earth from like solar wind, what we call solar wind, which isn't wind like I just explained, those particles spiral too as they come. They follow that line of magnetism and they spiral all the way here. Okay, that's what happens. But that's a little, I guess, not what we're talking about right now. So let me take you over to seeds. Okay, so this is yesterday, guys. I just want to give you a little backtrack here just for a second. Now, most of the action there was on the left side of the sun. Remember the one I showed you guys yesterday? It was blowing off right there, and you almost looks like a spotlight right about there. See it? Okay, and I know it zips past pretty fast, but I would encourage again everybody to go over here and mess with this tool. Get familiar with it, because you'll start seeing stuff. You really will. But anyway, we'll go ahead and go to the next one, next day. Now this is what I've seen today. Now what I want you guys to see is we're gonna be looking in this area. Okay, so let me get to the timestamp I want. Now you're going to start seeing little bright area here start to get brighter. We have to keep in mind that the sun is about that big. The black occulter is there that extends out. That's not the surface of the sun. So stuff has already happened. We just can't see it yet because it hasn't traveled past that occulter. Alright, so you see how it's starting to get bright? Right there in that area I just circled. Okay, so it's getting brighter. Now watch this next one. Okay, whenever you see that, if you guys are looking at these tools, stop. Okay, stop, slow it down, go behind and ahead of this capture and see what's going on, because most likely that's a big flash that caused the camera to glitch out. Okay, it couldn't handle all the light, even though the occulter was there. So, and then the next capture, yep, now we see it, right there. So I'm going to kind of zoom in as best I can here. We'll go to the next capture. Stupid thing. Sorry, guys. Okay, you see how it's turning into kind of like a ball, like I was talking about, and then you get that. And that's what that is. That's a ghosting. Okay, we notice this a lot with when we get the like the streaks that come through here that are really bright, and then 2 or 3 captures later you see them black in the exact same spot. They don't move. That's a ghosting, okay? It's a camera anomaly. That's all that it is, okay? So as we move forward here, you can see that right there, okay? Now, watch the next couple. Right here, this is all we get right here, right? Then the next one, 7 hours later. Yeah, once again, something's going on. They don't have no reason to cut data out for 7 hours in the middle of the day. Just letting you know, okay? I have a hard time thinking that was a glitch, because we see it all the time right in the middle of these things. So you have to wonder, okay? Is it being manipulated? What I think's happening, this is my opinion, I think they know the precursor of things to look for. And when they see those precursors, they shut it off. All right? So then they have a choice. They can either manipulate the data or just simply not repost it. And we get both, I think. Okay? But what happens when we see the good stuff here that we see and we're able to show you guys, they miss it. They miss the precursor. So what happens is all that time is out there, right? All that data is there. And what happens, please ignore that. What happens is, in my opinion, is that once it's there, they know that we're watching these things very, very close. Okay? So they know that we've already got this recorded. So there's no way they could say that that wasn't out there, that wasn't there. That's why they go ahead and leave some of that stuff up. Because for somebody that isn't, quote unquote, what we would call a woke, red pilled, purple pilled, whatever you want to call it, for somebody that's not there yet with what we do here, research, that would be almost convincing straight to the wall that they're trying to hide something, even to those people. Okay? Because they can't deny that. If it's there, we got it recorded, and they take it off of there and simply just wipe it away and not repost it. That is direct evidence that they did not want us to see something. That's why they leave that stuff up there sometimes. Even though it looks like they didn't want to, they just didn't catch it in time. At this point in time, when we're watching these, they know we're watching these satellites. Not just me and Scott, everybody. Okay? So that's why they leave it up there sometimes, guys. I get a lot of questions about that. Well, how come you can look at this and sometimes they manipulate it and sometimes they don't? Well, that's one of the reasons, in my opinion. Once it's there, once it makes it to where we actually get to see it, if it makes it there, usually you don't see them go back and wipe it off. Okay? They just missed it. They made a mistake. So that's my opinion now. But anyway, guys, I'll back it up here. You guys can see that. I'll try to come back with another video later on this evening, maybe early morning. But if I don't, guys, have a good rest of the evening. I'll at least try to do a video tomorrow. God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.